they're going to tell you through their body language, through emotions on their face, what they want to talk about. And those are the things you need to be watching for. Like, oh, you got excited about X. Tell me why. Where did you find that interest? That's not something I'm familiar with. Can you tell me more? I can't tell you the number of times that I've never heard that. Can you tell me more? Like, just very honestly. And that, again, allows them to really open up, help drive the conversation of what they're comfortable talking about.
Welcome to the Cultivating Leaders podcast, where we get inside the minds of leaders to harvest great ideas and lessons that help you grow as a difference maker in food and agriculture. I'm your host and curiosity captain, Nicole Ursig. Today we have with us Ellen Zimmerman. Ellen is a seasoned leader in agriculture, currently serving as the Director of Industry Relations for the U.S. Grains Council. With a deep passion for fostering connections and strengthening the industry, Ellen has dedicated her career to building bridges between industry professionals, students, and global markets. Throughout her career, she's been a champion for authentic leadership, believing that the best leaders bring their whole selves to the table. Her work at the U.S. Grains Council focuses on industry engagement, advocacy, and forging meaningful relationships that drive impact. In recognition of her commitment to mentorship and leadership development, Ellen was recently named the AFA Bridge Builder Award winner, an honor that celebrates individuals who create opportunities for young professionals and emerging leaders in agriculture. Beyond her professional work, Ellen is known for her ability to connect with people in an authentic, inspiring way, helping others find confidence in their own leadership voices. Ellen, welcome to the Cultivating Leaders podcast. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, let's dive right in. I just gave a little bit of your background, but what is something that people wouldn't know about you from perusing your LinkedIn profile or what I just told them?
Yeah, so I had two things that came to mind immediately. The first is I have a great passion for the color yellow. It is, not just my favorite color. I think of it more of like a way of life. It's the first word I said as a baby. And yeah, it's just always been like core to who I am and how I show up, I would say. And then the other fun thing that I would say I get a lot of questions and people notice are my glasses. So I have lots of glasses that I coordinate with outfits. So those would be kind of my two quick ones today.
I love that. If you do not know Ellen, and obviously this is an audio platform, so Ellen is coming to us today with bright blue glasses. And if you know her in person, she has impeccable outfits. They always match whatever the vibe is of the day. She is wearing her color yellow, of course. We've got a yellow Stanley, yellow phone case. There's always yellow.
Yes, two phone cases. I have a work phone and a personal phone, and they both have yellow cases. I'm always wearing my yellow watch band too. So always have at least a little bit of yellow.
Okay, I think because I know you, the color yellow is such a fitting for your personality because it's so sunny and bright. But okay, you said you've liked yellow since you were obviously an infant. So is that what's the purpose of the color yellow? What does it mean to you?
Yeah, I think that you kind of summed it up well. It's very bright, sunshiny. I think it's very welcoming. I've heard someone can certainly fact check me on this, but I've heard especially a pastel yellow is very calming, and so you'll see that in school walls a lot that are painted like a soft yellow of sorts. And yeah, I've just always it makes me so happy. Like yellow was the first word I said as a baby. It was more like Lello, right? And then my mom and dad always said the first full thought I shared was Lello makes me happy. And to this day, it's very true. Yellow just makes me so happy.
Oh, I love that so much. That just warms my heart.
Yeah.
So I think your personality and your style and fashion is it totally ties into what we want to talk about today in authentic leadership, because when Ellen walks into a room, you know that she's there, but not in a very sunny, positive way, and in a way where when you just said that thing about the pastels, it makes me think you are already thinking of how can I benefit the other people in this room, even with just the clothes that I'm wearing. Where does that come from?
That's a really good question of where does it come from? I don't know that I have a good answer. What I can say is that it has been a lot of reflection and work on myself to have I don't know if even the confidence, but just be comfortable being yeah, I'm going to wear these crazy bright blue glasses because they make me happy. I am going to wear bright bold colors because they make me happy. And it's taken me some time to to be comfortable enough in my own skin and then comfortable enough in my work product to know that it doesn't matter that I am the most boldly dressed person in the room. I'm still going to execute to my very best ability. And I've been able to like set that expectation. And again, it's been a lot of like personal work to be able to walk into rooms that way.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, especially in agriculture, right? Like we're a fairly conservative industry. We both came up through the world of FFA, right? Like you wear pantyhose, you're buttoned up, and a lot of times professionalism is very tied into neutral colors. Like don't be too bold, don't be too much. Tell me about that journey that you've been on of like, no, I can be my whole self and also be a strong professional that in this industry that people are going to listen to. And I think, Ellen, I'm going to speak for you, but I think it's part of your magic as well. Like it makes you very magnetic.
Thank you. Yeah, so actually, I would say it starts with the FFA, honestly, where it's a very like prescribed the way you look, the way you show up in that official dress. And don't get me wrong, huge respect for that blue corduroy jacket. But there was kind of like two kind of defining moments when I think about me in official dress that plays into that. So the first, I did public speaking contest, the CDE, and again, if you know me, probably even if this is your first time hearing me, I like to talk. It comes out pretty obviously, so I was like really jazzed about the public speaking contest, and I also played basketball. And the public speaking contest in Ohio is in the winter, and so for every speaking contest, I was either coming straight from basketball practice to be able to compete or going straight from that competition back to basketball practice. And I think it was either districts or regionals of my freshman year. So I was doing the Creed, little freshman Ellen, and I wore pants. I didn't have pantyhose, which was okay. I had my jacket, but I was coming from practice. Again, for those that are listening on audio, I have pretty crazy curly hair too, which just it adds to the bigness of me walking into a room. But after basketball practice, there's not really recovering the hair for the day after 3 hours of running. So I pulled it back in like a ponytail, and it was like a best of a like clean bun, not a messy bun of the early 2000s era, but like.
We've all
I
done
know,
those, but
right?
yeah.
No, but like I was like very intentional. I like want this to look as nice as possible, and they gave me a 0 on professional dress because of my hair, and it was like noted like messy style or something like that in the scorecard. Um, so that was like a very defining moment of like, I tried really hard and it still wasn't good enough. I will say I still won the contest. So my words must have hit home even with a 0 on my attire. And so that was like really one moment that I'll never forget, like seeing that 0 because of literally the way I showed up still in professional dress. So that was one. And then the other is I was like super proud to be wearing the official National FFA A-line skirt. Like that was my Christmas gift one year. And I got a lot of comments that that skirt was terrible and like didn't look good with my jacket. I don't know if it was like my body type, the size. I couldn't tell you, but I have several people commented like that skirt does not go. Like you look ridiculous. And that was like a pretty big blow because it was the official one. Like my parents, I asked for the official one. I got it for Christmas. I was so excited to wear it and just kind of got like pass on that, Ellen. Good try, but no. And so those two
Ouch. Like you're
moments,
trying to follow the rules
yes,
to a
yes.
T. Like I have the National FFA official skirt.
Yeah.
Oh
So I would say
man.
those two moments specifically as it's tied to like a very prescribed outfit. I carried that with me for a long time, for sure.
Tell me more about your journey. Okay, so you've had these experiences where it's like appearance obviously matters, but you can try so hard to fit the mold and follow the rules and still it not be enough. So how did that impact the way that you like grew up and transformed into the professional that you are today where you're like I'm going to show up as me and that's going to be what helps me win.
Yeah, I think it was, in that reflection of I tried my best. I did follow the rules and it still wasn't good enough. So why do that? Not that again that I was unhappy in my official dress, but why go through all of that extra effort to not be true Ellen and still, not get a W on the comments on people's thoughts, on people's opinions. And I would say the standard or expected professional dress, I think some people can really rock that and look that and make it look really great. I don't feel comfortable in that. I don't feel confident in that. And in settings where I need to wear a suit, that is performative in some way, right? And so I want to feel confident. I want to feel
Yeah.
comfortable. And my personality doesn't really match it either. Like as soon as I start talking, they're gonna be like, you look ridiculous in this black suit. Like that just doesn't go with with who I am. And so I think again, it took a lot of time and it was like slowly, maybe not like at a conference, but at a board meeting when it's just like 10 people, right? Kind of stepping out in a bold color or something like that that made me feel more comfortable and more confident. And I can feel the difference. Yellow is my favorite color. Navy is my power color. And if I'm in navy, I can dress that navy up in a lot of fun ways and still feel really powerful. And so I think it's just really, again, making sure I feel as good as I sound and in every way I can control.
I love that. I think it also, whether you realize it or not, I think it says something to other women in agriculture. I know that even in my career, the like what is acceptable dress, and not I did not intend this entire podcast to be about fashion, but this is relevant because I saw something recently where the new Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, her one of her photos that was published as they're announcing her as Secretary of Ag, she's wearing a hot pink blazer in front of the U.S. Capitol. And I was like, I love that. And I love seeing, at AFA events, so many young women show up in colors that are bold and different. And whether it's a purple blazer because I'm a K-Stater or um, orange because you go to Oklahoma State, I love, uh, like, it honestly starts a lot of conversations sometimes too. It can be a way to connect with people showing up in something that makes you feel comfortable. Or like you said, navy is my power color. It's going to give you some energy when you walk into a room or have a hard conversation. I feel like so many people, and I'm going to say young leaders, but people in general, right, feel like they need to act a certain way or show up a certain way to feel like they're taken seriously. How did you develop confidence in your unique leadership voice?
I think I have been extremely lucky to be surrounded by people that make me feel comfortable, that I've been able to build a really good relationship with. And that has allowed me to then be that person for new people we're bringing into the circle, right? And so being able to be surrounded by people who ask my opinion, who listen when I am sharing thought, that started for me at a very early stage in my career. And it was those people around me that really helped to build my confidence. The other thing I would say is, and this has been the case even with some additional experience and years under my belt now, I am just Ellen. I don't have the ability to turn off pieces of my personality, the part of my reactions, and that's it can be a really good thing. I think it's a really good thing. But if we're at happy hour, if we're at brunch on the weekend, if we're talking about if I'm just chilling with my friends at home, that is the same Ellen that is going to show up in boardrooms on a stage giving presentations. It's the exact same person. I feel a lot of feelings. I react very big, and my current board members saw me just 2 weeks ago getting shaky excited about something because I was just so jazzed about the things we were talking about. I have let a squeal loose in a board meeting because I was just so dang excited, and that's not performative or something I'm making up. That's true feelings. That's true feelings. I get excited about stuff. I make the most out of every situation. I've had to stuff who knows how many thousands of envelopes throughout my professional career doing some sort of member outreach. I'm going to have a good time doing that. I call those stuffing parties. When we have to pack pallets for meetings, those are packing parties. I am going to have a good time, and that is the truth no matter what setting I'm in.
I think that's so great, Ellen, because I think people can see you in like a leadership role on a stage, and also the bringing your authentic fun self to the parts of leadership that I think a lot of people don't see, right? Like we have all been at a trade show, packing up a trade show booth, and how much that sucks. And it's typically late at night and you're exhausted and tired. And you're telling me, like, I'm going to bring my whole self to it and I'm going to have a good time doing it. I think that is so inspiring. And that's the mark of, I think, true leadership, right? When you can show up and bring that full energy, full self, and the strengths that you have into situations that maybe even aren't necessarily fun. So I love that. We've talked a lot about young Ellen, and I'm curious, looking back, what do you wish your younger self knew about leadership?
I think, I've really honestly hit on some of that already of like, you can be your true self and successful. You can be full Ellen in every room. Because again, I never turned it off because I don't have that ability, but I did feel self-conscious about it, like even though that is how I was showing up, there was still definitely like moments of doubt of like, maybe I shouldn't have gotten shaky excited in front of the entire board when I'm talking about some membership campaign, right? Those things that I feel comfortable doing now has taken me some time to get to that point and kind of at least lessen or slow down the second guessing of that. And so I'm thankful I've been able to kind of reach this point, and I'm excited to see, I can I still be a young professional? I'm not sure,
You
but I
absolutely are.
hope.
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. I hope as I get more tenure, more wisdom, I'm excited to see like what that feels like in the future because I have been able to just be Ellen all of the time, and I'm thankful for the confidence now and kind of the process that I have undergone as an individual to get there.
Do you ever deal with imposter syndrome?
Oh, yes, so much, so much. I've read books on it. I'm not shy about saying like I go to therapy, I have a coach, like all of the things. And I think all of that stems from some sort of imposter syndrome. I mean, you heard it here. Can I still be a young professional? I ask myself at least twice a day. Am I old enough to be making this decision?
I ask myself that too.
Right? Like,
When you look around the room for the adult and realize it's you. Yeah.
it's like, oh shoot, yeah. We were talking about signatures on something, and they're like, well, whoever's the one like responsible executing the program should be the one who signs off on this form. And they're like, that's you. I was like, me? If that's me, I'm the one that's supposed to sign it. Okay, I'll sign the form. So yes, absolutely. I definitely feel that and always have. And I both want to cure myself of that and also keep a little piece of that too, because I do think it kind of helps me like stay in check. Like, what am I working towards? How am I working towards it? Who's helped me get there? I think those pieces of the questioning that I go through are good and should stay. The other ones that are more doubt leaning of you're not old enough, you don't know enough, those aren't helpful. The questions I should be getting, like what additional information do I need to feel confident, not I don't know enough, right? I think those are the difference between imposter syndrome and being like authentic to who you are and what you know and where you want to go.
What I hear you saying, Ellen, is there is a good part of imposter syndrome that, like, honestly, if maybe we don't feel a little bit, then we're maybe not pushing ourselves hard enough because imposter syndrome is sometimes, at least for me, a signal that I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone. And that is typically good. And also, the way to kind of help heal and help deal with the negative emotions that come with that is sometimes just doing the reps and doing it anyway, using the tools in your toolbox, talking to other people about it, and it helps you push through to get through the icky part or the not so fun part feeling of imposter syndrome.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly it.
And I think it's really interesting to talk about because I don't know about you. When I looked at professionals or people that I admired in the industry, I, in my head when I was younger at least, put a lot of people on a pedestal and never realized, like, when you said you're like, I'm just Ellen, like we're all just human and dealing with these same things, right? Like whether it's imposter syndrome or a little bit of fear or like, oh yeah, I'm the adult in the room now.
Yeah, yeah, and that is really important to me. And the team that I work with, the team that I have the great fortune of leading, I don't hide those questions or those pieces from them because I don't know that my mentors or previous leaders were intentionally hiding those questions. But I hope that if they know like I'm questioning this or like I don't have enough information to feel confident with this decision and that sort of thing, that's going to empower them to ask those same questions. If I'm showing up very honestly, very, I think feedback is really important. It can also be really hard. And so I'm very honest about how I'm feeling in those conversations of like, this is a really important conversation I want to have with you. It's also not easy for me. So like be with me in that. And I don't hide those pieces from my team because again, I want them to show up and tell me when they don't feel great about a really important conversation, but we still have to have it.
Yes. hmm I think that authenticity can lead to deeper relationships. And while the hard conversations never get easier, it can help at least show the humanity when you have to have those hard conversations.
Yes. Yeah.
So you are like your job is building relationships with people. Tell me one. I think everything we've talked about here, agriculture is a people business, and you're a people person. What tips do you have for us on building connections and building relationships, especially with people in agriculture?
Yeah. Oh, good question. And you're exactly right. Agriculture is a people business. I am in the business of building relationships. That's the goal of my job. And so I think some ways that I've been successful in building relationships is being willing to share a little bit about myself. Again, giving someone else that permission, signaling to them that this is like open and honest. And I loved that you introed being the curious captain. I think asking questions, right? Like that's all about it. And like finding common ground. I have been in a lot of different situations with different types of people. I feel fortunate. I've been able to travel to a lot of different countries. At the end of the day, we're all just human. And how can I be curious with someone to learn something about them or share a piece of me that allows us to connect beyond, we're having rainy weather here in Washington, D.C. That's a good start, but like there's so much more we could talk about, right?
Yes. What's your tip for getting beyond that, especially in people of different cultures?
When I travel other places, I always know the tipping culture where I'm going and who their president is. And those seem like maybe some obscure, specific factoids to have.
Yeah, the president one is interesting to me, but I like it.
Yeah, well, everyone knows the president of the United States,
It's true.
and everyone does. And so I feel like it's only appropriate. I know at least that amount of information about where I'm going, about the person I'm meeting. And so that is like, I know they're going to know my president. I want to know their emperor, their president, their king, whatever it may be, the prime minister of where I'm going. Because again, that shows that I'm coming into this with good faith, with in good intentions. I want to know about you and that sort of thing. Just as I hope they're, showing that they know my president as like something common to talk about, right? It's hard to like nail a specific say like, oh, do this. Listen truly to listen with curiosity. Ask questions about the small little factoids, or you seem really interested in X. Can you tell me how you got that interest? Something very simple that you're going to hear as someone sharing pieces of them, an update, that sort of thing. They're going to come, they're going to show you what they want to talk about and be able to connect with. I can talk about my outfits till my face turns blue, but that's maybe not what they want to talk about. So let them show you in those first couple of questions what they want to talk about.
I like that. Can you tell me more? That's a good one to have in your back pocket too, to just ask people. What about staying in touch with people? Because you've built relationships across countries, across cultures. You spend a lot of time on a plane. I know you live in like you grew up in Ohio, but now you live in DC. So, what about like you meet these people and how do you continue to cultivate the relationship once you've had that initial connection, even though you may not see them for a while?
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that I do that. I of course use like social media and LinkedIn. That is an easy, obvious way, low hanging fruit. For the people that I care about, I hope they know that I care about them because they're probably receiving 3 to 4 cards a year from me, birthday, for their anniversaries, for their job anniversary, for the holidays. I send little kids birthday cards. I send probably 400 to 500 cards a year, depending on the who, the what, the why. Mother's Day, I probably send 25 Mother's Day cards to people. Same with Father's Day. I keep what I call emergency correspondence in my bag all of the time. So I always have a blank card, a thank you card, and a happy birthday card on me at all times. Um, so I can give that to someone that I see in person, or I can send that off in the mail quick. So I always have cards on me. And yeah, the people that are close to me receive a lot of cards. and they know that I'm thinking about them wherever that may be. And sometimes I sent several out from Sioux Falls because that's when I had time in my hotel room earlier this week to pop a couple of cards in and envelopes and send them out. So they'll be postmarked Sioux Falls, South Dakota instead of DC. So I would say cards is like a really important piece for me.
I love that. Snail mail just makes people feel so special.
Right, right. My niece actually is turning 6 today. So
Oh, congrats.
huge day for the whole family. And she loves getting mail. So she definitely got a card from Aunt Ellen. I have a lot of little people in my life. My niece is an example of that. I do lots of FaceTimes or I'll just do videos. I know when my best friend's babies were really little, I would just take a video of me walking to or from work and play like I Spy, essentially by myself. Like I spy something green. What's green? Is that green? Is this green? I've done videos of me reading books or just like a one-sided conversation. And one, I want them to know Aunt Ellen is thinking about them and knows them and loves them. But it's also a great parent tool because they'll just open up that Aunt Ellen folder and instead of watching Netflix or whatever, they can scroll pictures and videos of Aunt Ellen. So I'm like my own YouTube for just the people that I know and love.
I love it. You could be the next Miss Rachel, just Aunt Ellen on
Oh my
YouTube.
gosh. Yes, exactly. I am the Miss Rachel for some littles in my life. So yeah, I would say I use Marco Polo, FaceTime, text. I love an audio message as opposed to just a text so that they can hear my voice and my inflection. I am not a monotone speaker, and so when I do those voice messages, they could really hear the emotion too. So those are just some of my quick ways that I keep in touch with my people.
What a wonderful pro tip. I love the one especially for friends or, people with littles in your life. That's a good one. Question for you. If you're sending out all this correspondence, it be digital or mail or whatever it may be, are you overwhelmed with the notifications, responses back, number of things that now it's like you have sent something out and now there's more things to respond to?
No, no, I don't feel overwhelmed by that. It's just kind of, I have a process when I sit down on an airplane, personal text first, work text, WhatsApps, Teams messages next, and then I'll go to my email and do as much as I can till I lose connectivity taken off. And then I always have a to-do list on the plane that's either Wi-Fi or not Wi-Fi connected so I can keep moving and no, it's just like part of my process. If I get in the car, same thing. Personal messages, work messages, emails, and I just kind of work through it like that, bit by bit. Yeah.
I think you're the first person to ever say like that, at least that I've talked to, that's not like, oh my gosh, I have a million emails and that doesn't overwhelm me. But I love your process. I may need to steal some of that.
By all
Yeah.
means, I hope it helps.
You've talked a lot, Ellen, in this conversation around like people that have influenced you and that part of your success has been because of other mentors or other voices that you've had, and that's allowed you to be it for other people. What advice do you have for emerging leaders who want to connect with someone and cultivate a mentorship that can help them, who can support them in an authentic way, who can help them be their authentic selves?
Oh, I love this question. So I actually got this from an AFA leaders conference or webinar or something from AFA that I got this piece of advice about a personal board of directors. And that it has been like huge for me. One, it took a lot of pressure off me of like finding the mentor that I'm going to be able to like connect with and like foster a relationship with, and they have to have all the answers because I have questions and I need answers, to being able to say like, okay, like here is who I'm going to talk to. I think they're a really great manager of people, so I'm going to ask them my people management questions. This person, I love their career path, so I'm going to ask them about how they like made the moves in their career to get where they wanted to be. This person has like really great hiring practices. I love being in an interview with them, so I'm going to talk to this person about that. And that allowed me one to keep surrounding myself with really great voices, took the pressure off me of picking the one single correct mentor. And it also takes a lot less time of each one of those personal board of directors because, like I said, I got a lot of questions and I want answers. And I can kind of spread the love of who I'm pinging and how often I'm pinging them. Not that I think that any one of them would say like no to asking a question, but I think in like a true respect of their time. I'm not hitting them up every week, every day, every month. It's a much more like casual and less time intensive relationship for both of us.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great advice. What do you do when you get advice from your board of directors or feedback that maybe you don't like or don't agree with?
Huh. Good question. I would say asking more questions. I My dad always says life is all about perspectives. And if I'm hearing something that I don't even agree with from one of those people that are on my board of directors, I'm not understanding their perspective, or I've not shared enough about my perspective for them to really like kind of see where I'm coming from. If it's advice that's like, oh gosh, like I don't like the way that feels coming at me, I think it's all about perspective and asking more questions to understand why they think that is. And through that line of questioning, maybe I end up agreeing with them or being like, okay, that's not my experience, that's not my perspective. This advice doesn't apply to me. But I really appreciate the learning I've been able to do in partnership with them.
One of the things you said that really struck me is you may not have explained yourself well enough, or they may not understand where you're coming from. I think, especially young leaders, and especially when you're talking a power dynamic of someone you look up to, it can be hard to push through. Okay, they're selling me something I don't agree with or don't I'm going to say I don't want to hear, but maybe I just haven't explained myself well enough. What advice or what tips or how do you push through and know when like, hey, I need to share more versus I think some people the natural thing is to retreat and defer, right? To someone especially in a position of power.
Yeah, I think a lot of that depends on that personal relationship that you have with that person, and then also like what is the format in which you're communicating? Maybe you're currently texting or emailing, and you need to make it a voice call or a Teams or a Zoom and that sort of thing. Because again, like understanding that perspective, where they're coming from, what else is going on in their life that they're coming at you like that? What else is going in your life that you're hearing it that way. And so I would say switch up the communication format and ask more questions.
I like it. One of the things we've talked about is, and I think this leads into it, right, is having that confidence when you show up at work. What are some small but maybe powerful habits or tips that you can give us to show up with confidence?
I would say an obvious and easy one, have a routine. I actually have lots of different types of routines that come into my life at different times. I have a routine at home where I am sharing a bathroom with my husband and getting ready for the day and sharing a commute with him. I have a different routine that I'm in a hotel by myself on my way to work. So I would say get a routine. And one of the things that is in all of my routines is I say, "You're okay, Ellen," a lot. "You're okay, Ellen. You are okay." And I have an excellent playlist that I can like pick a song and be like, it's go time. And I'm happy to share that playlist. But for me, again, just kind of like mixing up what you're hearing kind of can reset things for you. So if it's not a song for you, is it an audio recording from someone that you care about? Is it a reel that really speaks to you? Is it the intro of a podcast? I don't know. Find something that you can pop in and when you walk through the door, whatever, it's go time. It's go time. Security, airport security is one of those like transition moments for me. I love the work I do. I also really love my husband and my home and my friends, and I'm gone a lot. And walking through security is like, okay, now you get to do what you love. Here we go. And then it's go time.
Where did you get the idea or how did you start building those routines?
Not feeling confident, not feeling powerful, not feeling myself, and figuring out what helped make me feel that way. So I would say, I have certain songs that I've been listening to since I was trying to feel confident walking on a basketball court in, I don't know, 2006 in junior high, to some of those songs are the exact same songs that I listen to before I do a presentation to a board. Yeah, just kind of feeling when I'm not feeling awesome, not feeling confident, and trying things that fix it.
Yeah. It's almost like you've created just a little toolbox that anytime you can reach into and I'm going to try this or I'm going to try this.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are getting to the end of our conversation, but couple just more quick hits, rapid fire type of questions. If you had to sum up your leadership philosophy in one sentence, Ellen, what would it be?
Radical candor.
I want to dive into that, but I said rapid fire. What is one book, podcast, or leadership resource that has shaped the way you lead?
This will allow you to dig in deeper. Radical Candor. It is a book that I just absolutely loved, and I want to lead and be that Radical Candor. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have to. If anyone has listened to any of these episodes, they already know that I am a book nerd and I love Kim Scott. Radical Candor is a great read. Curious, how do you balance the radical candor? Because some of the things she talks about are super direct, right? With like being kind and I'm going to say gentle, but also like clear is kind. And I mean, there's some things in there that almost come across as mean. So one, I want to know, how did you discover it? And two, how do you apply radical candor in your career and in your job?
Yeah, so someone recommended the book to me and I read it, and a lot of that was like, oof, that's coming off like really strong. I don't know if that's me. I would say for me, clear is kind. How that plays out a lot is I don't want my team to ever guess how I'm feeling about a direction, about an idea. That could be like, oof, I don't like that off the bat, let's workshop this, or I'm really, really excited about that. Here are the problems I see in XYZ. Again, I'm very expressive. You're going to hear it, you're going to see it, and my team never has to guess how I'm feeling about anything. I hope that's mostly a good thing, but I do think I'm being very clear. I'm very clear with expectations, and I hope they see that as a kindness, that they don't have to guess or try and maneuver around expectations, best practices, where do we go next. So I would say that's one way. And the other is, as I'm developing myself as a leader, have found those difficult conversations that are maybe around performance or like disagreements, or that's not how we are going to show up as a team. Those type of things, I really swing the pendulum from being like the kind Ellen that we know and see, at least I hope, to you've messed up, you did not meet expectations, and now I'm dropping the hammer. I have been working to find somewhere in the middle. That's kind of what I was talking about earlier of like, this isn't comfortable for me. And when I'm not comfortable, I'm going to go to like, I've overthought this, I've overprocessed this. These are the three things I need to say. I'm going to say it and it's over. That's a disservice to me and that's a disservice to them. And so trying to get more communicative in that discomfort with my people to say, I don't like the way this feels. Here's what I got to say. How can we get better together moving on?
Yeah. Well, I think you found your middle right there. But what I think you illustrated, Ellen, is in those hard conversations, sometimes our tendency can be to, now I must stick to a script. And exactly what you talked about, like the Ellen that people see every day. And if you go scripted, that's going to feel super weird. And that's going to feel unsafe or scary to anyone that you're managing or leading versus being like, hey, this sucks. It's not a conversation I want to have. It's uncomfortable for me, but here's what I need to share, and it's still clear and it's still honest, but it gets the message across. So yes, radical candor is highly recommend, both me and Ellen. Also, if anyone is a masterclass person, Kim Scott has a masterclass on radical candor too. It's a great watch. There's like scripted things so you can see what radical candor looks like done well and what it looks like when it's harmful, because it can also be really harmful if we're all too direct, right? We can't be jerks. So that's not what it's about.
Exactly. Okay, good tip. I like it. Thank you, Nicole.
Yeah. Okay. So, we're going to go back to rapid fire. I'm queen of rabbit holes. So, thank you for going down that one with me. What is one small action someone listening today could take to start leading with authenticity?
Pick your power color. What makes you feel really good?
Mine is hot pink. I got pink in my background, and you can't see my artwork, but yes, mine's hot pink. So, I love that, Ellen.
I love that.
Navy blue is yours, and yellow. You kind of have that too. Well, I am so grateful for this time today, Ellen. I think this conversation has been fun and insightful, and also I think is just such a good illustration of why you are AFA's Bridge Builder Award winner. Of, just creating connections with people and showing up authentically. And if you haven't met her, you will know her by her glasses and the color yellow when you see her out in the industry. She's at lots of events. So, Ellen, for anyone who wants to connect with you, wants to learn more, where's the best place that they can find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, of course, Ellen S. Zimmerman, everywhere. that is also my email, ellenazimmerman@gmail.com. And once we get connected, happy to share my phone number as well, and always happy to connect in any way. Because of those amazing people through AFA and all of those other places that built a bridge to me, I am never going to deny the opportunity to build a bridge to someone else. So would love to connect.
Thanks so much for being with us, Ellen. Thanks for listening to the Cultivating Leaders podcast, brought to you by Agriculture Future of America. If you've been here before, you know we value feedback as a gift. Please leave us a review and let us know how we're doing.